Hello. We are going to the Minstrel's Ballad, Ultima's Bane. If there is the Minstrel's Ballad in the beginning of a name of a fight, then it's like a more difficult version. It's similar to a fight being called Extreme. So this is one of the first ones of this kind of category. I am just gonna be watching some footage and pointing out certain things as I see them. This isn't really meant to be a full, like, thoroughly created guide necessarily, but you'll probably pick up some stuff if you're super fresh to things. So we're starting out here. The tank will turn the boss north. So the boss will face north, and so everyone else like just sees the back of the boss. And this is helpful because then the boss is directing any tank busters to the front. And also if people have positionals, like melees for example, if they need to go on the side or the back for their positionals and their jobs, it's easier for them to go do that. Okay, so that's kind of the standard. There are some particular tank things. Here, the tank is getting some debuffs that after certain stacks, they'll need to swap. The other tank will need to swap them. At this point in the fight, Garuda shows up, and whatever direction Garuda is facing, that side's gonna get cleaved. Okay, so you want to go behind Garuda. So there we go. This is the cleave over here, so you don't want to stand over there. Okay, so a few things happen there. If you just look at the green stuff, like, okay, well, this big explosion happened first, and that's that looks like it was just a raid wide type thing. Yeah, like the boss just does that. Vulcan burst is the name of it. So we get hit with that, but then we also have this, the wind thing, see the wind stuff that went off, to avoid. Okay. Alright, and then Garuda's now in the front and she's gonna like fall down. Okay, so Garuda disappears. So now we've got this fire stuff. And this is similar to Ifrit's stuff, and this is similar to Titan's stuff from the other fights we've done. So you want to make sure you're not standing in any of those. So here, let's go back here. So like for this one, I kind of stand like at the little like corner here, and I wait for it to explode. And then I'm like, oh, okay, now there's stuff in the middle. And so I can easily just like back it up. I am playing a ranged player, so it's a little bit easier for me. Like for melee, you might have more difficulty with things. But yeah, usually that's the strategy. You stand kind of close to the edge of the thing, and then you walk into it after it's done exploding. Okay, so the tank thingy, this stack here, vicious atheroplasm. This atheroplasm is attached to your body. A stack of 5 will result in severe damage. Okay, and so once the main tank gets like 3 or 4, then these tanks should switch. So the off tank should pick up the boss by using provoke. It looks like a person like holding a sword like this, something like that. People also just will say things like voke, and that is just a shortcut for provoke. Okay, so if you see people saying, hey, voke the boss, they mean to provoke the boss, which means do a tank swap or grab the boss because it's attacking somebody else. Okay, so provoke will like get the attention of the boss. Okay, here, this thing, This is from the Ifrit fight. These will go underneath certain people, so you gotta run out of that so it follows certain people. To make sure you're running and dodging out of those things. Okay, tank's got 3 stacks now. Okay, up here we've got a tank purge from the boss. So that's a big raid wide. Etheric boom now. Okay, looks like it. Okay, so we all got knocked back, and we've got these orbs, right? We've got these orbs here, and they're like tethered to each other. And so our job is to explode the orbs. When you explode an orb, it does like a lot of damage. Okay, see, look at how much damage this person took. It took a lot of damage, and they were there by themselves. And so, but if you go and soak the orbs together with somebody else, then you don't take as much damage. See, so like I took some damage here, this person took some damage. We were together, but this person over here took an orb by themselves. So, you know, they survived. But if you're doing this minimum eye level, then you want to be a bit more strategic about it, to make sure that people can actually survive. I think this was just synced, it wasn't minimum eye level. In any case, but if once you destroy one orb, then the other one will, the tether goes away. So we just need to do this one and this one, or this one and this one, you know, whichever pair. Okay, now we got these bits in the middle that we want to attack. While these bits are alive, they will do these blue line AoEs, just pointed at random players. And so you want to take them out so they don't, you know, keep throwing AoEs at people. Also, the tank here has another vicious aetheroplasm. Alright, so they're taking more damage. They're gonna start taking more. And in the comments, in the chat, people are saying, hey, like, switch, like, swap, tank swap. Okay, so yeah, look at all these blue things popping up. You gotta take care of these ads. If you've got good healers, then it's not too big of an issue, this thing. But if you are struggling a little with healing and doing stuff, then it would be better to do a tank swap. Also, my cat is here now, so my allergies might pop up. Okay. Here we've got assault cannon coming up. Oh, we also have these proximity mark. Yeah, so we have these markers that dropped, and they radiate. So this one, it goes like this. And so the safe spot is going to be like here and here, because these two spots are the places that like the circle proximity markers will kind of cross there, but you'll be furthest away from both of them, as opposed to like if we stood over here, we would get a lot of hits from this, like a lot of damage from this one, or like standing over here, you get a lot of damage from this one. And so yeah, your safe spots would be in between them, far away. Okay, like here would be very dangerous, because see how this is like overlapping, this is overlapping like that, and so you take damage from both of these. But by standing as far away from this as possible, and far away as this as possible, we get hit with just a little bit from each of them. Okay. There we go. We've got these huge things dropping down. Okay, so that's where the damage is coming from. Okay. Etheric boom. And so we get all knocked backwards, and we've got these orbs now. We've got 1, 2, 3 sets now. So again, if you pop the orbs near other people, you don't take as much damage. Okay, so you kind of share the damage. Yeah. This person died because I think they took a few hits. So here they're right here, right? So they took one hit here, and then I think they went over here to take another hit. Yeah, so they took one hit by themselves because this person seemed like they were over there, but they ran out. And so this person over here, AI, they weren't able to take, you know, 2 hits by themselves basically. So, well, no, the first hit I think I was there with them. Oops. Yeah, the first hit I was there with them, but the second one, everyone else kind of ran out. So that's what can happen. Okay, and then here we've got the bits again, but instead of being in the center, they're on the outsides. But again, they do this like blue line AoE on like random people. So we want to take these bits out. Careful as things like crisscross around and stuff. Also, main tank is still stacking up on this stuff, and so main tank needs a lot more attention with healing because they've got 5 stacks, or they need the other person to swap. I think the other tank, we had this. Okay, so while you're running around taking care of all this stuff, the boss will target a random person and do this like line AoE towards them. So when you see this green line AoE going from the boss, you want to like get out of the way. Okay, don't stand in that. While dodging all this blue stuff, okay? See, there we go. There was that big green boom. Yeah. Okay, and the boss does it multiple times. So, there you go, see? Targets random people and then keeps going like that. Okay, so there was a few things happening. We're taking care of the bits on the side, avoiding the blue line AoEs, avoiding the boss's green line AoEs. And it does it like 3 times. Yeah, looks like it's 3 times. And then now we've got these proximity markers. So in this situation we've got 4. And the safe spot's actually going to be in the middle of this stage, because where they intersect here is the furthest we can get from all of them, and so that's our safe spot. So we'll huddle in the middle here. Careful with this situation, because when we're all bunched in the middle, if there are still bits alive, then with most of us here, there's a good chance all like the blue line AoEs are going to go into the center, because it targets a random player, and if most players are here, it's always going to go here. And so when you run into the center to dodge these proximity markers, you know, try to wiggle around a little bit so you're not standing in the blue stuff. It gets chaotic, you know, like you can't see anything, but like, yeah, see that I backed it up a little bit because I was like, I didn't want to stand in the blue stuff. Okay. Got tank purge. Okay, so we took the raid wide from that. Oh, let's see. How did the main tank die? Probably because they got so many of these stacks. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of stacks. Yeah, they have way too many stacks of that stuff. And then with all this chaos happening, the healers weren't able to keep them up. Oh yeah, and also, oh yeah, right. The other healer had died because of this thing. And so that's likely... Okay, because the healer's dead, this healer is raising. We've got chaos because of the bits everywhere. The main tank is not getting healed right now because the healer is raising the other healer. And so the main tank dies because there's no heals coming out. But this other healer is getting raised. and while the rest of us are dodging all this stuff. There's a lot of explosions here. Okay, remember you've got the blue things in the middle that you gotta get out of, and still, like, once all of that stuff kind of ends, you still got these bits out here. They don't just go away, so you still have to like attack them to get rid of them. Okay, so we had a raid wide there, so healers got some big work here. Okay, we've got homing lasers. Oh, well, it didn't attack me. I had a shield. So here we've got an astrologian and we've got a scholar. The astrologian will do regen healing, and so that means, like, if I get this little thingy, this one, that's what the astros looks like, this little buff here, over time it will regenerate my health. So that's what the regen healers do. And then for the scholars are shield healers, and so it puts a shield on us. So this little yellow bar that's in addition on top of our health is a shield. And so because I had a shield on, I still have a little bit of a shield. I didn't end up getting hit with this thing that target me, the homing lasers. So that was fortunate. Okay, so that was fine. Etheric Boom is the raid wide, knocks us back, and then we've got these patterns here. So we've got 4 sets here, and again, remember, if you soak them with other people, you'll take less damage, but it looks like I got hit with 2 because we blew up these at the same time, and so that was kind of like, oh, okay. This person didn't take as much damage as me because they are the tank and they have, you know, just in general significantly more health than I do. Let's see. Yeah, before the thing explodes, they have like 9,600 health and I have 6,700 health. And so, like sometimes I'll reference the bar of health, but you do have to look at the number itself. Okay, so it looks like they did get hit with, you know, let's see, I got hit with 2 of these. I'm not good at numbers. How much of a shield did they have? Oh, we also have the shield wall. Okay, so this is the tank LB, so we don't get as much damage in general. But okay, so they had so they took like 1,000. They also have tanks are just, you know, they have more defense in general, and so that's like I got hit with 2. I think they must have also gotten hit with 2. Oh yeah, here we go. They got hit with 2 of them, but they didn't take as much damage because they're a tank. But I got hit with more because I'm, you know, I'm just wearing a sheet. You know what I'm saying? They got like armor and stuff. But yeah, so that's that. Let's see, like now I have a really big shield because they're like, oh, you almost died, and I was like, hey, thanks. Yeah, okay, so now this person is getting the vicious etheroplasm thingy, the stacks of this stuff, and so yeah, that is just a tank thingy that you would have to alternate with. Okay. Oh yeah, and then the green thing goes out. But yeah, so that's that fight. This one is a good one to start with if you've never done harder content. It's like on par with some of the more difficult normal fights. And so if you're interested in just dipping your toes into getting into extreme fights and stuff, then yes, like you have this fight gives you enough time to react to things, and then you can kind of build up your raid knowledge and experience by doing like smaller fights like this. By smaller fights, I mean it's still like this video is like 20 minutes long now, but the fight itself, let's see, it was like 4 minutes or so. Yeah, so it's not too intensive. Not to say, like, I mean, it might be intensive for some people, but what am I trying to say? It's kind of like if you're gonna start raiding and you're afraid to like read, like some people will just go to like the end game raiding stuff, like the Endwalker stuff that's out right now, which you can totally do. But I think for the type of people who watches my content, if you have anxiety about raiding, or you don't know what you're gonna get yourself into, or you want to take things slowly, go baby steps. Like this is literally the first one, the first quote unquote like hard, extreme fight that you can do. Even though it's called the Minstrel's Ballad, the Minstrel's Ballad is like extreme, okay? And you know, if you go do this, you generally would want to queue into it using the party finder. Oh, oops, you can't see the thing down there. Party finder for this, okay? Because usually if you queue into it using the duty finder, then the only people who can join you are mentors. And sometimes mentors can get a bit fussy about having to do hard fights, like extreme fights, even though this one's particularly more chill than some of the other ones, since this is the very first one. There's a good chance a mentor will say something like, hey, use Party Finder for doing these minstrel ballads or extreme fights and stuff, okay? Additionally, because you have to wait for a very specific pool of people to join, it will take a long time to queue for things like this. And so using Party Finder means you can advertise, I want to do this particular fight, and like I'm new, I'm fresh, I want to do this synced or minimum eye level, so I want to run it the way it was run when it first came out. You can always do this stuff unsynced, like you go in with like higher gear, higher level and stuff, and it will go down really fast. But if you're in it to like learn mechanics and learn party strategies and communicating and things like that, then using Party Finder and saying you want to do it synced is a good way to go. And people will be more than willing to like explain things, because they have to actively click to join the Party Finder kind of thing, you know? And like for here, if a party is struggling with these orbs, for example, like a person died to one of them, then this is where low-key you can be like, hi, how are we gonna handle the orbs, you know? Then people can say, oh, I'll take the west, I'll take the east one, and then so and so you'll take the south one. It's like, okay, cool, now we got the orb situated. And then later it's like, oh, we got 3 sets now, okay, well, we'll have 2 people go to the south one and 2 people go to the west, or you know, things like that. And so this is a good one for baby steps to get into things. There's nothing wrong with taking baby steps to get into stuff. Yeah, and if you care about kind of the more nitty-gritty, like small scale, like specific stuff that goes into raiding, then you can look into figuring out what the buffs and debuffs do, you know? And so this one, the only time we really see a debuff situation is with the tanks. And so like what I did earlier, and like I hovered over it and I could read like what's happening with this debuff. Like if they have this, what's going to happen to them, then that lets me know, oh, that's how that mechanic works. Once they hit 5, then they're going to take way more damage. And so this is what the mechanic does, and what are we going to do about it? Okay, let me communicate to the team, the party, that once I hit like 3 or 4, can we switch out so, you know, I don't die once I get to 5 kind of thing. Okay, so I hope that was helpful, and I hope you enjoy your raiding experience in the future. And I'll be making more videos doing other extreme fights and stuff soon enough. Okay, bye.